Shalom everyone, here we are at Tsama Nafshi, once again, learning the wondrous sefer of Reb Chaim Volozhiner, Nefesh HaChaim. And let's see, where should we go from? Perek Vav? Perek Vav, okay. Here we are, Perek Vav. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, good morning.
How you doing? Welcome today.
Amen, thank you.
A big success.
Amen. Fat, happy, and educated. Is that too much to shoot for?
Yeah, well, at least the last two. Okay, Perek Vav, Nefesh HaChaim, Chaim Volozhiner, a blessed memory. Amnam adayin ha'inyan sorik bi'ur. This matter, nevertheless, still requires further clarification. Yehu zal diber b'kodshoi, derek Tsara, darko b'kol kisvei kodsho v'nistaros. This is a klal, a major principle that applies in all of Torah, both the Gemara, the way Rashi speaks, the way the Gemara itself speaks, and certainly the way the Svarim that discuss the hidden secrets of the universe, which Reb Chaim Volozhiner is speaking about. They speak very concisely. They don't say a lot of words, and the idea is that a wise person will be able to understand what they are saying. So it's very humbling when we don't understand, because then we realize. Okay.
So it's a major cloud, called it,
Yes.
which is Kuf Lamed Kaf.
Chaf. Like that. Chaf.
Kaf.
The one that's the gematria of 20.
Kaf Lamed.
Chaf Lamed Lamed. Klal is a principle. Klal Gadol. It is a major principle. There's many reasons for this. Many reasons for this.
Yes. You get a second.
One of the reasons is that the people that don't understand will very much. Good morning. But first, it's nice to see you here. It's nice to see me here. Nice to see Roy here.
Yeah, for sure.
And Matt also. We don't want to exclude Matt.
Of course not.
We have a wonderful group here. See? Just come to Tsama Nafshi. Enjoy all the wonderful people that there are here.
Amen. Thank God.
So, just as he himself has said in his introduction to this sefer, Sham, Shuhu Megala Tefach Umachase Alpayim Amma. This is an expression that of Chazal, of course. Everything that he says is laden with meaning, and particularly the way that the Chazal put it. He quotes the Chazal. It's called, you reveal a hand's breadth, a tefach, umachaseh, and you conceal alpayim, 2,000, with what you say, not with what I say, but with those that know and understand. This is how they speak, and this is how they write. Shalom kedamashma l'chura mitvorov zal sham, which is not like what they said over there, wherever there is. I'm not sure exactly where there is what he's saying, because we're jumping here into the middle of Perek Vav, and I unfortunately have not seen the previous prakim right this time, but we will endeavor. Sha'adam El ha'olamot hu nefesh mamash, kamo nefesh hanitan v'davuk v'toch gufa adam. Asher eze davar shanefesh oseh hu rak al yedei kli haguf, sheba oto rega mamash gam haguf oseu. Ze vadai lo yitachen. Wow. Okay. A person, in regard to all the worlds, this world and all the other worlds that there are, he is the life force, the generator, whose actions generate all of the results that occur in all of the olamos, which all of the different worlds, of course, are showering down upon our world, the lowest world, all manner of blessing and material and spiritual bounty. So this is the person, he's called the Nefesh of the universe. Kamo Nefesh anitan v'davuk b'tok guf. Just like the Nefesh inside the body of a person. The Nefesh inside the body of a person is his life force. When the guf is connected to the Nefesh, there is life in the person, in the guf. The guf can function, the guf can do, the guf can walk and talk. When a person after 120 years passes away, what happens? There is a pirud, there is a separation between the guf and the nefesh, and then the guf is a lifeless thing, which cannot move, cannot talk, cannot walk, cannot do anything, because the nefesh has departed, it's gone back to its creator. It's the life force. Asher ezed davar shenefesh oseh urak al yedei kli haguf. On the other hand, the nefesh cannot do anything on its own. It needs the guf. The guf is, so to speak, the kalim, the utensils and the vessels that facilitate the desires and the ambitions of the nefesh, the life force. And only through the guf can the nefesh, when it's connected and together, can do anything in this world. That's, at that time, the guf is what does the action. The nefesh cannot do an action, only the guf. It's certainly impossible. So it's quite fascinating. The way Hashem made a person, a guf can do nothing by itself. Without the nefesh, it has no life force. But similarly, the nefesh, without the guf, can do nothing. It needs to be inside the guf in this world in order to do the actions that it wills and seeks and desires to do. It needs to have the guf. The guf is its kalim, it's its utensils, its emissaries.
We came across a point. Just in the previous parak that Hashem put into man, in creating man, created from the top with Nefesh, and from the bottom of the universe, the body, so that the two opposites, so that they would interact, like you were saying, and they wouldn't be jealous of each other.
Oh, interesting.
So they wouldn't be jealous of each other. But they would...
Why are they not jealous of one another?
Well, now that because in us there's these two aspects of the universe, the guf and the nefesh, and there's not just one dominate, one doesn't dominate.
Okay, right. They're a team.
Right.
They work together.
That's it.
They realize that. Interesting. That's a fascinating point. They realize that they need one another, and they work together to accomplish a common goal, and therefore they have no jealousy. They respect one another's position and status. Well, this is good, Matt.
Yeah? Thank you. Mexican eggs today.
Wow. Aval. Ikro shel davar. Pihu yizborach shmo. After shebora kol olamot. Bora es adam. Achor. Lamaaseh bereshit. Bria nifla'a. Koach ma'aseh. L'kol hamachanot. Chaim Volozhiner says this is the Ikra Shel Davar. This is the main point of what he's been saying here in his whole Sefer. That Hashem Yisborach, may His name be blessed, after He created all of the worlds that there are. I'm not sure that we even know how many worlds that there are. Maybe in the Kabbalah it says how many olamot that there actually are. They're categorized into different, according to their categories. Some categorized this way, that way. We're not going to get into all that, but there are not just this little world that we have here. It's, I guess, sort of like the all the people that used to watch the science fiction movies with the what do they call it? Is there life on other worlds, other planets? I don't know if there's life, but there are other worlds. There are other worlds. Reb Chaim Volozhiner says there are other olamot, but they're not like ours. Ours is the most physical, and those are much more spiritual. So I don't know if they have Martians over there. I wouldn't imagine that they do. But after Hashem created all of these thousands and maybe millions of worlds, after all of that, and after He created this world, what was the last creation in the entire creation? Was the Adam. He's the last in the creation. And He calls him a Bria Nifla, a wondrous creation. He has the Adam, the Koach, Ma'aseh, to gather unto himself and within the universe all of the what he calls the machanot, all of the camps, all of the different and various camps which comprise the entire creation. Shekolo bo kol tzachsochos oros haniflaos va'olamot v'heicholin va'elyonim shekadmu loi. He encompasses and brings together, to work together, all of the shining lights, wondrous lights, and worlds, and sanctuaries, upper sanctuaries that preceded him. Hashem created them first. But man is really, through his actions and his speech and even his thoughts, is in control of them. V'kol tavnit hakavod ha'elyon v'seder pirkei hamerkava. Wow. This is, he's just alluding to this. We're not going to go into this either. But he makes mention of it, the entire structure of the universe, which is a kavod, which is an honor to Hashem, who is on high. According to the Seder Pirkei Merkava, the order of the Pirkei Merkava. Pirkei Merkava. What is a Merkava? Is a chariot. There's chariots. Seder Pirkei Merkava. What's this whole concept of chariot over here? What is a chariot? A chariot is a vehicle. A vehicle is a means to bring that which is inside it from one place to another place. And this is the connection that there is between all the different olamot. That there is a exchange and an interchange and an interfacing and a hishtalshalus, filtering down of all of the bracha from Hashem Yisbarach all the way down into this world, in a way that we could accept it, because just straight from Hashem it's just way too strong for us to even accept. So it has to go through this whole process of tzimtzum. Tzimtzum means confining it. Kol hakochos pratim hanimsaim v'kol ha'lo. See, once you start to learn all of these different ideas, you start to see what an incredible structure of hierarchy of different worlds that there are that Hashem created, all for the sake of man. All of the different kochos, forces and powers that are found in all of these different upper spheres and lower spheres. Kulam nosnu koach v'chelek be'atzmusam be'binyano be'klalo boy be'mispar prate kochosav shabo Moshe Omru be'zoar kutshabrichu. Oh, and now he's going to go into a statement from the Zohar. What does it say over here? We'll read from the Targum of the Zohar. HaKodesh Baruch Hu K'shebara es ha'adam. When Hashem created the Adam, Sider bo kol hatsuros shel sodos elyonim shel olam ha'elyon. He created and fashioned within the person all of the structure and the form of all of the secrets of the upper secrets of the upper world is contained in the person. V'kol atzuros shel sodos atachtonim shel olam atachton, together with all of the formed and the secrets of the lower world. Kulam nechkim ba'adam. They are all engraved and carved and fashioned into the Adam. Hanibsa b'tselem Elokim. Who the Adam, of course, as we're saying, what the defining feature of Adam, unlike any other creation in the world, is that he was created b'tselem Elokim. Shekatuv v'yivra Elokim es ha'adam b'tsalmo. Like we said in the beginning of the Sefer, Hashem created the person in a certain likeness to Hashem. A certain likeness. And just the kitzur, while we're on it, for the people who didn't not with us at that time, and Tzelem Elokim is that just like Hashem himself, of course, is in complete control and can dictate and order and fashion the bracha that comes into all of the worlds and everything that comes into the worlds according to his word, so too the Adam has this koach, because Hashem gave him that koach. Because according to the way Hashem made the world, the actions and the speech and even the thoughts of a person, if he does Torah and mitzvahs, so then he maintains and gives power and light and force and everything good, spiritually and material, to all the worlds, and chas v'shalom if he does the opposite. So in that sense, he is like Hashem. Just like Hashem has incredible power to mandate what is going to be in the world, so to the other with his actions. He has tremendous power. Okay, so where are we? So that was from the Zohar. Okay. V'kein omru zeh loshen yoter ba'orech b'tikunei Zohar Hadash. Okay, so Kedarko HaKodesh, HaChaim Volozhiner makes a point, and then he brings you many sources in the Svarim, and particularly the Svarim HaNistorim, in the Zohar, in other Svarim of that sort, that are a proof to what he's saying. He's not saying anything at all on his own. He's showing you this all comes from the Svarim of the Zohar and other Sifrei Kabbalah. The Zohar Chadosh Yisrael, B'Maaser Merkava, V'Hulei. The Targum Zohar on the bottom, at least I have on the bottom. Kol mitzvahs haTorah nechazim b'melech HaKodesh ha'elyon u'mehem b'rosh ha'melech mehem b'guf mehem b'idei ha'melech mehem b'raglov. Every mitzvah that's contained in the Torah, all 613 mitzvahs, they have a certain achiza, a certain hold, a grasp, a connection to the Melech HaKodesh HaElyon, HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Some of the mitzvahs, he says, they have this grasp and connection, Barosh HaMelech, in the head, as it were, of the Melech. And some with the guf, and some in the hands of the Melech, as it were. Even though Hashem, of course, doesn't have hands and all these things, but they're just a way for us to understand the power and the strength and the force that there is in the mitzvahs that Hashem gave us. We have no idea the power that and the force and the impact that happens when a Jew does a mitzvah. How it impacts in the world. V'zeh kol ha'adam shekol koach prate shebo misudar neged olam. Everything that the way Hashem created the person, the way that he is fashioned, he's fashioned in a way which corresponds to the structure of the world. Koach echad prati misod hashiur koima shel shir koma shel klal hakochos va'alomos shemisudorim kaviyochol ketabnit komas adam. The Moshe is bar in Britz Hashem. So this is also it's something that all the different limbs of the person, the structure of the person, the way Hashem created the person and his makeup, and his different limbs, his different parts of his guf, the different parts of the spiritual parts, are all corresponding to different parts of the universe. The Kena mitzvahs kulam, and so to the mitzvahs are like this. Keshurim v'teluim v'makor Shorshana Elyon, the Sidrei Pirkei Merkava. How is it that a person with his deeds and his thoughts and his actions can have such a tremendous impact on all the worlds? It's because the way Hashem created the person, his whole makeup, outer and inner and everything about him, has a certain correspondence and a certain kivun, direction, which is directed in tandem with the structure of the universe. So therefore, according to what he does and says and thinks, so the universe is. It's fascinating. And this, he says, also is true of all the mitzvahs. The mitzvahs themselves have like we said before, they have a corresponding part of the Melech, HaKodesh HaElyon, and in the Olamos as well. Shkol mitzvah pratis b'shorsha koleles rabbe rabavin kochos va'oros misidrei hashir koima. This concept of shir koma is the way Hashem fashioned the person, that there is in the Olamas Elyonim, in the upper celestial spheres, as it were, a commonality, a common denominator between their structure and the structure of the Adam. That's the shir koma that he keeps this phrase that he keeps referring to. Moshe Amar b'Zohar. This is all mentioned in the Zohar.
So repeat what the shir koma is again.
Says in the Zohar in Parshas Truma, mitzvahs HaTorah, kulan chalakim ve'evarim. All the mitzvahs of the Torah are parts and limbs, besod ha'elyon. In the sod ha'elyon, in the upper spheres, the secret upper spheres, and when they all are joined together as one, az kulam olim lesod echad. Then they all go up lesod echad, in that order to that place. And another statement from the Zohar, he says, B'Shem Hazeh Kululim Taryag Mitzvahs HaTorah. Maybe we didn't get there. Let's take a look. Let's take a look where we have a quotation from the Zohar. Daf Kuf Samach Hey, Amud Beis, in the old Zohars. Kuf Samach Hey. See? B'Sham B'Daf Kuf Samach Hey Amud Beis, B'Hai Shma Kalilin Taryag Pekudei Araisa. In which shame? We have to go back a little further. Inyan Yoter Mavuar B'Tikunim Zohar Truma, Pikudei Araisa. This concept of shir koma, I believe which is the trade word, the trade usage word that we're using over here to describe this connection between the Adam and the upper worlds, and the mitzvahs and the upper worlds. B'Hai Shma, in this name, Kalilin Taryag Pekudei Araisa, is included all of the mitzvahs of the Torah, the inin klola, the kol razin, Elohim v'satoim, they encompassed in these Tariq mitzvahs is all of the razin, Elohim, all of the upper secrets, but satoim and lower ones. V'kulu pikudin, kulu shaifin v'avrin v'askaza v'hu raza d'mehemnusa. Let's go to the Targum into Lashon HaKodesh. V'shem hazeh klulim Tariq mitzvahs haTorah shehem klal kol hasodos ha'elyonim v'tachtonim. Everything that you wanted to know about the world, about truth, about existence, it's all contained where? In these 613 mitzvahs. Kol ha-mitzvahs, kulon halakim ve'evarim laharos behem sod ha'amuna. Wow. All of the mitzvahs, they are all different aspects and facets which show within them the foundation of emunah, of what emunah is. What is emunah? Emunah is very simple. There is Hashem. Hashem created the world. Hashem created the world with a purpose. And He created, and that purpose is that we should fulfill the mitzvahs, the commandments that He gave us. That's the plan. That's the agenda. And emunah is that we know that this is so, and that we are faithful to that agenda as much as we possibly can. We try and endeavor to be faithful to that agenda. That's being neman, and to be neman, to be faithful to that plan, is based upon the amount of emunah, the level of our emunah that we have, that this in fact is so, that this is this is what we have here. This is where we find ourselves. Yishe'eno mashgiach ve'eno mistakel b'sodos shel mitzvahs haTorah. The one who is not paying close attention, and he doesn't look into deeply to these foundations of the mitzvahs of the Torah, ein yodeh v'lo yochol listalkel eich mizkanim ha'evorim b'sod ha'elyon. So he's not going to be able to really know how to maintain and establish and ensure the well-being of all of the upper worlds. Ivari aguf kulam mistaknim al sod mitzvahs haTorah. Because everything in the world, all of the different aspects and facets and dimensions therein, derive their maintenance and healthiness and strength al sod mitzvahs haTorah, on the basis of they're founded upon mitzvahs of the Torah, meaning that they require us little Jews to fulfill the mitzvahs of the Torah that Hashem gave us. Continues Reb Chaim Volozhiner. Uba'asosa adam ratzon kono yisborach shmo. When a person does the will of his Creator, Umekayim be'eze ever bekoyach shaboy achas mitzvahs Hashem, and he fulfills one of the mitzvahs of Hashem, thereby maintaining a certain facet or power or force that there is in the world. Hatikin nogea le'oso olam bekoyach ha'elyon hamakbiloi l'saknoi ula'aloso ula'hosif or u'kedusha al kedushosoi v'chefetz v'rotzon ha'elyon yisborach shmo. What this does is that it creates a tikkun, a rectification, and a strengthening, and it gives an elevation, and an addition of light and kedusha to the already existing kedusha that there is in all of these worlds. And this is all based upon the desire and the wishes of Hashem. And this is all according to there's the mitzvah itself, that it's done, the bare bones of the mitzvah, and then there's the way that the mitzvah is done. So the way that the mitzvah is done is important, if not even more important, in creating all of these positive effects in the world as the actual mitzvah itself being done. If Reuven heizdachachus v'taharas kedushas machshavto be'es asiyas mitzvah. Oh boy, hamitzterefes latoiva lamasa ha'ikarit. What should we have? In other words, when we do a mitzvah, we have to pay attention to the fact that we are doing a mitzvah of Hashem. And why are we doing this? We have to keep in mind we're doing this because we're fulfilling the Ratzon Hashem. When we put on tefillin in the morning, we put the Bais Shel Yad over here, and we say Hineni Oseb mitzvah that Hashem was commanded me to do, to put on tefillin. The Mantia Torah Hashem Beficha. The Mishnah Berurah says, in order, like it says in the Torah, we put on the tefillin in order that the Torah, that this facilitates the Torah should be and continue to be in our mouth. This is why we have tefillin. That's what it says in the Torah. We have this in mind. We don't. So the more that we can be aware of and focused on, the more we can focus on the mitzvahs that we're doing, and get into it, and have our mind and our heart together in the mitzvahs, that makes the mitzvahs so much more powerful. So in any case, we're doing the mitzvahs. We all do the mitzvahs. Baruch Hashem. We're religious Jews. We believe in Hashem. Let's all endeavor to do them with also, it doesn't take any extra time to do them with focus. If we rova his dachakus, taras kedushas machshavto. When we do it in that way, there's a certain purity in the act. There's a certain holiness, kedusha, that our machshava creates to the action. The mitzvah, at the time that we're doing the mitzvah, the act, the physical act combines with the machshavas of kedusha and Torah that we have in our mind. And what do you have when you put on tefillin? Therefore, you have a spiritual explosion. It's exploding in bracha and shefa in all of the worlds. And it's the refes latoiva lamasa ikarit. These makshavas of tahara and kedusha join together with the masa ikarit, the main, the actual act of putting on the tefillin. Ukafi erech madregas oso ha'olam v'koach ha'elyon. And together, so the amount as high up as that act reaches, is going to be corresponding to the Tara and the Kedusha of the Makshava at the time that he's doing the mitzvah. How high it's going to go up, how much it's going to have an impact. In other words, the actual act itself is a mitzvah, and it creates a tremendous spiritual explosion of impact, of good in the world. And then when you add onto it the tahara of the makshava, and the kedusha of the makshava, that it's being done for the sake of the mitzvah, it's being done with attention to the mitzvah, it's done with the love of Hashem and awe of Hashem, and wanting to be close to Hashem, and wanting to always do the mitzvahs and not do anything chas v'sholem, the opposite of that. Wow, that just brings that act, the Maisa Ikarit, it goes whoosh, way up, way up. It has a 1,000 times or even more impact than just the bare bones of the mitzvah itself. Misham nimshach HaKedusha l'chiyus gam al osu hakoach shel adam. Now, not only does this, what the person does, this mitzvah with the extra kavanah of the heart and the mind, have an impact on all the upper worlds, but it also has a tremendous impact, much more so, on the person himself. To the extent that the mitzvah is done with kedusha and tahara, it makes the person more and more kodesh. Like we say every day, in the morning and in the evening, when we say Kriya Shema. And we're going to read those words right now, because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about doing mitzvahs. What does it say in Kriya Shema? That we read this twice a day. This is in the third parak of the mitzvah of Kriya Shema. Now, ostensibly, the third parak starts off talking about the commandment of wearing tzitzis. Yabei b'nei Yisrael, amart aleihem v'asulem tzitzis. Make tzitzis on your begodim. Haya lechem letzitzis. You will have the tzitzis. Re'isa moso, and you will see oso. You will see him. Who's him? That's one of the sources, I believe it's in Chazal, say that it's referring to Hashem. Uzachartem es kol mitzvahs Hashem. They have the ability to cause a person to remember, to keep in mind all of the mitzvahs of Hashem, and to remember to do them. V'asisim osam. V'lo sasur. Now listen to this. V'lo sasur acharei levavchem acharei neichem. And do not go straying away from Hashem through the desires of your heart for immorality. V'acharei einechem. That's einechem, and after your eyes. These are matters of what the heart and the eyes that cause a person to go stray after physicality, after the pleasures of this world, and it could lead a person to, the Chazal say, to kfira, to denying Hashem. Asher atem zonim achareihem, that a person becomes like a zona, to stray away from the ways of Hashem. Laman tizgru v'asisem es kol mitzvosai v'isem kedoshim lelokeichem. So here, the pasuk says that because of the kedusha and the tahara that he has, that he's not going after his eyes and after his heart. When he remembers to do the mitzvahs Hashem, v'isem kedoshim, he himself becomes kodesh to Hashem. Not simply that, of course, he's he's dedicating himself to Hashem, he's giving himself over to Hashem, but it affects the person himself. The person himself becomes more Kodesh. Hashem is Mosif, adds on more sanctity and holiness to the person. He's a different person. It changes the makeup of the person himself. When he does mitzvahs with Kedusha and Tahara, he doesn't go after his eyes, he looks only at what he should look at, and he thinks only what he should think. And this, when he does in other words, in that way, the mitzvahs that he does have so much more power of Kedusha and Tahara to have an impact even on himself. This is what we see over here from the it's very important foundationary thing that we say twice a day, and should keep it in mind when we say it every day. It impresses upon us the importance of not only doing the mitzvahs, but doing the mitzvahs in a way of Kedusha and Tahara of our machshava, so that we will be given over to Hashem and not over to other things that there are in this world to go after. Say the Gemara. So this is what he's saying over here. Shabo kiyem mitzvahs boro hamakuvenis negdoi v'kasher kiyem kol mitzvahs b'shlemus b'kol prateyam v'diktukeyam b'ikar hamasa. So there's two things that there are over here. He does the mitzvahs according to all of the details of what it says in the Mishnah Berurah or the other poskim that there are, each one according to his custom and his minhag. All of the details are important. They add on tremendously to the strength of the mitzvah. That's the physical act of the mitzvah. That's why we learn halacha, to know how to do the mitzvahs according to the halacha. That's the correct way to do them. And then we add on nosaf alehem hitztaref osam taras ukedushas hamachshava, the purity and the holiness of our thoughts that go together into the mitzvah. So there's a unity of our act and our minds and our thoughts. Harei tiken kol olamos ustorim alyonim. This creates a tremendous rectification in all of the upper worlds. V'nase kuloi kechol koichoisa ve'evorov merkava lehem u'miskadshim mikdushasam helyona. Creates what we were talking about before, this merkava that transports the bounty, spiritual and physical, material from the upper worlds and sanctifies them, and it filters down into this world. Ukvod Hashem chofef olav tamid. Wow. A person who is successful in doing this, doing all the mitzvahs according to all the details and the halachas and the minhagim, and also with the correct mind, kedusha and tahara. The kvod Hashem, the honor of Hashem, chofef olav, is hovering together with him, resting together with him, tamid, on a continual and constant basis. Wow. Wow, wow. Good stuff, Roy. Aye, we should be zofet to do the mitzvahs of Hashem with kedusha and tahara. Okay. So long for now, Matt. We'll see you, Bezrat Hashem, next time we see you with the Nefesh HaChaim, or of Chaim Volozhiner, Olav HaSholem, of blessed memory.